The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Thursday episode of Running Point. Last one of the week this week. We are so excited. It is coming down to now. This is the pinnacle of sports. It's probably the day, or I could say the next couple of days are going to be the most high stake sporting days in the Ysn family because everything's lining up. We have regional championships that are being the line in baseball. We have state championships that are going to be on the line in softball. We have state championships that are going to be on the line in track and field. You know, you look at the fall sports, volleyball and football and cross country are pretty staggered. So there's not really a weekend where they all line up where there's a bunch at stake at the same time. Yes, there's playoff football, but it's like first round, second round when by the time volleyball gets deep into playoffs, and cross country starts super early too. So, and then winter sports, basketball, yeah, it's kind of side by side. You have 1 week before the next. So, you know, if you have a girls team in state, you could have a boys team going for the regional championship, but we just didn't have a volume of teams in basketball. Wrestling was not lined up with the basketball. They were a little bit, I think later. I think they were later on in the fall to get wrestling. I mean, in the winter to get wrestling wrapped up. So I think not being overly dramatic in saying that this is the highest stake weekend in the YSN family of the whole year, of the whole calendar year. Like I said, we have 3 sports. All of them have something really huge on the line. 2 state championships going on this weekend with track and field and softball. And then regional championships are going to be decided by the time we talk next Monday. So when we come back on Monday, we're going to have hopefully state champions. Let's go. We have 3 of them fighting for a state championship. And then hopefully we'll be also talking about regional championships and baseball teams getting ready for their state tournament at Canal Park. So a lot on the line. And then next Wednesday, Running Wednesday, season finale. Hopefully we'll have a lot of state champions and state podium getters, people on the podium. Hopefully we'll have a lot of people on the podium on Wednesday when we talk about track again with Rick Seipert for the last time this season. That's kind of can't believe we went 8 weeks. That 8 weeks went quick for track and field expert Rick Seipert to join us. We started the week after spring break and we hit the ground running. We've had an interview in every week except the premiere. The premiere was kind of hey, here's what we're doing. Here's what the show format's going to be. But every week outside of that, we've had somebody on that show. It's been a blast. Can't wait to see who we're going to get this week because me and Rick kind of talked about it after the show. We said, you know what? We usually plan ahead, but this is going to be a wait and see because we want to get state champions. We want to get people to hit the podium. So we're going to be sending out messages after Saturday to these athletes saying, hey, can you come on Tuesday or a Wednesday? And get talked about. Hopefully that Running Wednesday episode is a big panel, a big track and field panel of a bunch of people that really succeeded down there in Dayton. It starts today. It's a 3-day event down there in Dayton University. So today's going to be the start. I think if I remember correctly, D3 is today with the semis, D2 as well. D1 semis are tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, I think, is going to be the D3 finals. It's a 3-day event with 3 divisions, all going for semifinals, prelims, and then the finals the day or 2 days after. So, going to be a fun time. Rick Seipert will be down there. He'll be able to keep an ear to the ground on everything that's going on in the YSN family. And good luck to all the track and field athletes. I want to say we have something really big going on across the border in the Keystone State. Pennsylvania does things a little bit differently. We're not at the state championships yet, but Mohawk, they've already kind of qualified for the PIAA tournament. Top 4 of the WPIL qualify, but they're going for the WPIL championship tomorrow at 3:30 at Cal U. So going to be a big day for Mohawk tomorrow. Their softball team, they were scheduled to play yesterday, but as you know, if you looked out the window yesterday, a lot of rain, a lot of thunderstorms, that game got postponed. Instead of pushing everything back, the WPIL said, hey, we're going to keep the games that are scheduled for Thursday today. Keep them where they're at. We'll just hop Mohawk and the other games that were scheduled for yesterday to tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be Mohawk's chance to win a WPIL Class 3A, I think, championship. We're excited for the Warriors. We know that they kind of went through a little bit of a stumble that lowered their seed a little bit, but they are proving that they are back, they are healthy, and they are good to go because they have run through the tournament so far. They play at South Park, not the vulgar TV show, but the high school. That is, 19-1. I was looking up their game changer. And they do not give up a lot of runs. So it's going to be a tough one for Mohawk for sure. Every championship should be tough. But the Warriors, very good team. Erica Young is one of those names that has popped up a lot in the Mohawk softball story recaps. Every time I write a story, Erica Young. And I remembered it because it's Erica with an A, and you don't see that too often. So want to wish Mohawk good luck. Olivia Hare, who has been in both of our all-star games that Mohawk has been a participant of, want to wish everyone down there in Mohawk good luck tomorrow. 3:30 is your start time at Cal U for the WPIL championship between Mohawk and South Park. So we want to, once again, wish the Warriors the best of luck as well. We are going to get into the state tournament today for softball. I'm the softball guru of YSN, not self-proclaimed, by the way. Everyone keeps calling me that. I know I have a lot still to learn about the sport. Just in my 3rd year coaching it. So I'm trying to soak in everything I can from the great coaches we have and, the friends I've made along in the sport. But I'll do my best to navigate YSN's coverage here of the state tournament. We have it all starting tonight, South Range against South Webster. And when you look at this matchup, it's not one that anyone thought would be happening. Not because of South Range's side, but South Webster's side. This is no knock to the Lady Jeeps over there in South Webster. They were going up against literal Goliath. You know, David and Goliath is a cliche in sports now because everyone kind of just uses it to say a big underdog wins. But when I'm talking Goliath, this is the Goliath of Goliaths in Wheelersburg. To put in perspective what Wheelersburg is doing and what they have done as a program, especially the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, they are back-to-back state champions. They were going for 3 in a row this year. They lost one senior a year ago, and that senior went on to Virginia. And I believe I have to check the ACC website again to confirm this, but really good freshman season at Virginia and a part of the All-ACC freshman team. So you know what? That's the one senior they lost, and they have plenty of D1 talent still on their roster. They were trucking through the season. They beat South Webster twice in the regular season, both by run rule, 14-3, 10-0. Everyone was sharpening in. Okay, you got Wheelersburg in the state semis. There you go. All right, South Range champion. That's a toss-up. We're going to pencil in whoever you want to pick in that game, but we know Wheelersburg's going to get there, so we can just, even in the post-game interviews, like South Range hadn't heard about the score yet. They were just like, okay, we're going to go play Wheelersburg. And oops, here comes South Webster saying, still here, 25-3. 2 of those losses to Wheelersburg, granted, but we're a good team. And they caught Wheelersburg on a bad day. They took full advantage of every opportunity they get, and they win 4-3. They actually saw that game had a dip a little bit of valley. They took an early lead. Wheelersburg came back, tied it at 3, and then the Jeeps score in the top of the 7th, take a 4-3 lead, shut the door with a line out, a hard line out in the end of the 7th to win 4-3. It just, I think the biggest upset I've ever seen as a softball fan in the state of Ohio. I've been watching softball since I was in high school back in 2010, kind of keeping my ear to the ground of softball. And especially more in the grand scope of things when I started to work at Ysn in 2017. And I can't remember an upset in softball this big. This is what makes one and done so exciting yet so bittersweet for teams that are like Wheelersburg, because it's one bad day. One day where you're not your sharpest, good teams sneak up and get you, and you have to go home. This is not the World Series of college. This is not super regionals where you have to beat a team twice, or even the regionals. It is hard to upset people in college softball because you have to beat a team twice, right? You have to either beat them twice in supers, you have to beat them twice in a regional. Either way, it's really hard to get an upset for that reason. You have to be better than them 2 days in a row, or one day and then the next day, right? One day and then you could lose the next and then be better on Sunday. You have to be better 2 days out of 3, which is hard if you're not the best team. If you're not a better team, it's hard to have a team just have a bad weekend. That's why you only saw I don't think any unseeded team got into Oklahoma City. And if I'm correct, I don't think anyone went into a host site. I gotta check this because I'm gonna be mad if I'm wrong about this. But I don't think anyone got into a host site and won. By the way, if you're watching the WCWS today, which starts today, they are in a rain delay, which is super sad. Alabama, I forgot about them, and Duke too. Duke went to a host site. Duke and Alabama are the only two teams that went on the road in the supers and got a win. But that's Duke, who is ranked 10th, and Alabama, who's ranked 14th in the country. So these are good softball teams, not your unranked, teams that get in and they're just trying to win a regional. We had 2 of those teams win a regional and get to supers, 2 out of 16 regionals, which is 4 teams in each, 64 teams. 2 teams got upset. It's hard to do it in college. It's not hard. It's not as hard to do it in high school because you just have to have that one good day. Single elimination. It's kind of like March Madness in basketball. You don't have to be the better team on paper. You just have to be the better team that night. And that's all it takes, or that day for baseball and softball, because most places don't have lights. But that day, just be that better team. And that's what South Webster's motto was in that Wheelersburg game. They were not fazed. They were not intimidated. They went in and said, we are a good team. We know what we can do. We're going to go in. We're going to be confident. And we're going to put our hats in the ring. And they did that. Wheelersburg didn't have a great day. And a good team like South Webster took advantage of it. Now, when you look at South Webster as a team, one thing they do really well is they keep the hitters off balance. Their pitching staff and their starting pitcher do a really good job of keeping hitters on their toes. This is a great example in this South Webster team of the statement that you don't have to have high velocity, blow people away to be a successful pitcher. You can have stuff that's 55 miles per hour. If you hit your spots, you move the ball, and you still change speeds, you can be successful. And this is what South Webster's pitcher does really well. The other thing South Webster does really well, I'm reading through my notes and my recap on ysnlive.com, which you can go and find information on every team that's in the state tournament in softball divisions 1 through 3. The other thing that South Webster does really well, they are patient at the plate. They draw a lot of walks. They have a good on base percentage. They do not let a lot of things go. They don't strike out a lot, which is something that South Range is really good at as well. So really interested to see both these teams try to avoid the strikeout, put the ball in play. They have a potent lineup. It's led by Ashley Spence, who is a Shawnee State commit for the Jeeps. She'll be going on to play college softball. She hit a walk-off home run in the district championship over Ironton, so she can swing the bat really well. They have an outfielder named Skylar Zimmerman, who is one of the best outfilders in the state of Ohio. She's ranked in the top 300 in the extra inning softball her class rankings. They do the top 300. I think she's somewhere in the top 100 of that. So then they have Isabella Claxon, who will be someone to watch as well. She's a senior leader who will continue her athletic career with volleyball at Mount Vernon Nazarene. So a Division I athlete. And anytime you have athletes that know how to go to the next level, I don't care if they're doing it in softball or not, those kind of athletes are always dangerous. So those are some names to watch for South Webster, but their pitching staff does an amazing job at Ty Bartell. Raider Day. You know it, Ty. I'm getting real nostalgic today. I got the South Range shirt on. I've had this shirt for 14 years. This is a 14-year-old shirt. This is the first softball shirt I ever got. This is from 2010 when South Range went to their first regional tournament since 2001. And this is really kind of the start of the dynasty. The names on the back of this shirt, this team this year, and the teams that have gone to state, I would argue, owe a lot to, because they set the tone of this South Range success, and they said, this is what we're going to do. This is how this program is going to be run. And we talked about these Raiders, and I know I'm sidetracking. This is how my brain works. We'll go back to South Webster and have my final thoughts on them in a little bit. But these South Range Raiders, talking to them this year, talking to the young ones, especially the sophomores, talking about how they watched the 2016 team that went to state. That team watched this team. It's a trickle-down effect. And your success, when you hold yourself up and you succeed and you carry yourself the right way, especially with the youth of the program, which these players did. I was witness to that. I went to school with them. The next players did. 2016 did. And these players are doing now to the youth of the South Range softball program. When you do that, you're building the blocks to have a successful program. This team never got to state. They got to the regional finals. They lost to Hillsdale. They got to the regionals next year. They lost again in regionals. Then it got a couple of teams that didn't get out of districts. Right? They were knocking on the door. They got to the district championship. They were that team that were building blocks. And then all of a sudden they got to regionals a couple more times. So Stevie Taylor was a part of that South Range team. Lost in regionals, got beat by Champion. They were just building. And then 16 broke through. They beat Champion in regionals. They get to Northwest. They beat Northwest in the regional final on an extra inning diving catch by Cody Taylor. Never forget that. Diving catch by Felicia Gaeta too. You look at that team. They made the plays to get into the state semifinals. They swept the semifinals, destroyed the team they played in that game, lost to Wheelersburg. Okay, you're knocking at the door. They have a year after that where they learn as a program, hey, we're not guaranteed a trip to state just because we went there last year. They lost in the district championship to Conchetta Rinaldi and Cardinal Mooney in 17. Then in 18, they lose in districts again. 19, same thing. They win a district. They go to Champion. That was the year where they were ungodly good. They run-ruled everybody on the way to the state championship. That was a team with Allison Smith, Sophie Howell, multiple Division I athletes in the circle at once. Okay, you knocked on the door again. You got to regionals. What's going to take? Okay, COVID. They have a really good team. That season's washed out. Coach LaRose talked about that last night in the preview show. All right, that's okay. 2021, they get back to the door, right? They knock on the state semifinal door. They win the state semifinals. They go to the championship. They get beat. They're right there. They're on the doorstep. 2022, they go to regionals. They get beat by Tuslaw. 2023, back to state, right? They run into Wheelersburg. They keep knocking on the door, but you can see this is now the first time that this program has gone back-to-back years. So that building block still continues. Here we go. Better and better every year. They've been to regionals 5 straight years now. COVID, 5 straight seasons. COVID doesn't count because no one really played, right? So 5 straight seasons back to 19. They've been in regionals. They've been in state 3 times now in those 5 years. The building blocks keep kind of adding up. And the South Range program started, in my opinion, with the building blocks in 2010. Those girls that said, we're going to succeed, we're going to bring this program to the next level. This was Carly DeRose's freshman season. She set a tone. She was a two-headed monster with Madison Yannick in the circle. Their offense was potent. They had strong defense. They did things the right way, and they carried themselves well to the youth of the sport, which is why the next generation of softball players at South Range also did a very good job. So here I am, rocking the Raiders, right? I am a South Range alum. Do not forget that. This softball team, I love them all. I love all of our YSN teams. I think I've proven that over the years. But this South Range softball program, I would not be where I am with softball without them, without watching that team back when I was in high school. So this feels special. I'm getting a little bit more nostalgic. I'm feeling this year than last year. I think you're starting to feel something special going on. And I told Ty last night, I said, man, if we win, it's going to be emotional because I've been watching this team, this program, since I was in high school for, the last 14 years build to this point. So let's go Raiders. Let's go, right? South Webster, though, this to get back to them real quick. I think that their key to success is going to be to keep the ball in the ballpark. They're not a big strikeout team. Look at their strikeout numbers. They don't strike out a ton compared to other pitchers that South Range has seen. Their pitcher's velocity, not amazingly gonna blow you away, but like I said, moves the ball well, hits her spots, and then does change speed. She'll go from 55 to 45, and I don't care if it's 55, 65, 70, whatever you're throwing. If you change speeds, it's going to keep people off balance. So watch out for the changeup if you're South Range in the lineup. Other teams in Division 3 that we're going to have to watch out for tonight when they play in the first game, it's going to be Oak Harbor versus Liberty Union. Oak Harbor is 27-2 on the year, and they have a D1 pitcher in the circle, Alyssa Sorg, S-O-R-G, is a D1 athlete. She's going to be a swimmer at Bowling Green, but she has an ERA of 2.11. Obviously, if you're I said it. Add that to the tally, 34 now. If you're a swimmer, you're going to have really strong arm rotation. She has a lot of speed on her pitches. She's only given up 5 home runs and 600 batters faced, which is impressive. And she's only given up 23 extra base hits. So Oak Harbor has pitching in the circle. That's for sure. Porter Gregory led them in the batting, hitting .530 with 33 RBI. Their on-base percentage is ridiculously good, more than their power. They've only hit 11 home runs in the year, but their team on-base percentage in Oak Harbor is .456, so almost, almost 50% of the time, Oak Harbor is getting on base, which is important in this level, especially because the more pressure you can put on other teams in this high-level, high-stress environment in the state, the better. So I think the teams with high on-base percentages are going to have a lot of success in the state tournament. And then you go to Liberty Union, who will be playing Oak Harbor tonight before South Range. They're coming in on a 14 out of 16 game winning streak, 11 in a row now that they've won 14 of their last 16. 9-7 win in the regional final against Miami East. They've scored at least 6 runs in 6 straight games, so their offense is how they win games. They have a really good outfielder in Peyton Hochradel. I hope I'm saying that right. Ranked at number 82 in extra innings, top 300 outfielders of her class. I believe it's a junior, so the class of 25, ranked high in the outfielders poll, the extra innings softball. They're making their first trip to state in a long time. They have not been to this round. They have not been to this round ever, I don't think. They got to the regionals this year for the first time since 2011, and in that year they lost in the regional championship. So some new ground, and that's kind of the trend. If you look at a lot of these teams, they're making their first trip to state in a long time. Fitch is playing Fairview. They haven't been there since 1991. That's the year I was born. So, they were there 32 years ago. Yikes. I guess you could say 33 now because I will turn 33 this year. So 33 years for Fairview. You have Bryan, who is in Division 2. They're making their first trip in a while. A lot of new faces in this state tournament. A lot of teams that you're not used to seeing in Firestone. No Talmadge this year, who is a staple in this. No Wheelersburg. You got Strasburg Franklin in Division 4. They're kind of the only blue blood that has been there for a long time, been there, done that. I guess you could count Matthews in there too, because over the last 6-7 years, they've been there a handful of times. So you have a couple of teams in Division 4 that have definitely made a name for themselves over the last half decade to a decade, getting to Firestone. Fitch is starting to be that team, going to back-to-back. But a lot of new faces too, which is fun to see in the softball world, to see new teams kind of try to put their program on the map too. So this is a state tournament that's going to feature a lot of new faces. But that's kind of Division 3 and what to expect out of the teams there. Division 3 starts tonight. We have Oak Harbor versus how did I forget the high school name that fast? Versus Liberty Union, 3 o'clock before South Range. Right now, Matthews is playing. Strasburg Franklin won the first game of the morning, 10-1. So they're going to the state championship game. No shocker there. Strasburg Franklin is ridiculously good in Division 4. If you don't know, they're probably the biggest blue blood, I guess you could say, in the state tournament this year. The biggest one that is known, has had a sustained program success for a long time. So Strasburg Franklin in the state championship. Matthews is playing as we speak. Then we'll have Division 3 at 3 and 5:30 South Range playing South Webster. Last game of the day. Divisions 1 and 2 will be tomorrow. 2 first, then 1. They do that the same way. So like the lower divisions played first today, and then tomorrow the lower divisions plays first as well. We're going to take a break here on Running Point. When we come back, we'll have a player profile featured with Kira Brogan.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Welcome back to Running Point, Thursday episode brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Just heard from them in that commercial break. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. We're going to a player profile to do that today. Back to South Range. No shocker there as we prepare for the Division III state semifinals tonight at 5:30. Kira Brogan, sophomore shortstop, had the chance to talk to her last week. And we're going to feature her player profile here on today's show. What a great interview it is, and I hope you enjoy it. Anthony Hartwig with another South Range softball player profile. We are joined by Kira Brogan. Kira, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's talk about this season. You're going into year 2 this year, and coming into the year, what was it like trying to avoid the quote unquote sophomore slump and not rest on all the success you had last year, and to keep the work up and obviously have a fantastic season?
I think it's just the motivation. We got so far last year, and I think we can go as far, even farther this year, and just keeping up staying strong, thinking you can always do better, and keeping the team together.
This is a roster this year that has some returning experience like you, like Anna A, et cetera, that are young, right? You're young in years, but not young in experience. How much have you leaned on last year when trying to bring along some of the players that are making their varsity debut or stepping into a much bigger role in the varsity this year?
I think it's a lot of work. I mean, these girls had to take in spots, and I'm just so excited because we're all good friends, and it's good to have each other as our backs.
I'm sure a lot of these new faces came to you, especially the start of the season, and asked what you went through last year and what it was like to step on the field for the first time. What kind of advice did you give them based on your experience last year on making an immediate impact on this varsity level?
I kind of just said that everybody knows you're going to be nervous, you're going to make mistakes, and that it's okay, and that the rest of the team has your back, even if you do make a mistake. So I feel like that helps bring their confidence up, and it definitely brought my confidence up being told that in the past.
One of the things we know about this South Range team is, man, do they always put together a very good schedule, whether it be inside the NE8, which is competitive enough, but then outside the NE8, you have your trip to Myrtle, you have D1 teams on the schedule, you had the reigning state champion in Division II. When you look at the gauntlet you've gone through this season, and now here you are in the regional finals, how much do you kind of look back and think about all the great teams you played, and how much do you think that helps you in this level of the tournament?
I think it's just so exciting for the team knowing that we kept up with the competition of D1 schools who were ranked, and obviously Talmadge, the D2 reigning state champs. It's just exciting for us because we know that we have what it takes to get all the way.
You talked about it a little bit earlier, how you got so far last year. You got to Firestone, got a taste of that state tournament. How hungry have you been specifically, especially in the offseason, working and all the time that gets put in to prepare for the season, to get right back to that point?
I've been so excited. I've been working my butt off to fix the things that I was struggling with last year. And I know the whole team is pumped, just keeping the team with the energy up. It's just all what I need to do to keep us going.
People would look at the stats last year and go, what in the world were you struggling with? So what kind of things did you work on? What kind of things did you want to improve on? What did you want to see from yourself this year compared to last year?
Just staying strong mentally. That's what really killed me last year. I mean, I had some issues with my arm, but ultimately it was my mental approach, especially at the plate, that held me back in the end of the season.
What were some things that you did that helped you with that? Because, you can physically train to make your muscles better. That's kind of easy. What did you do mentally to strengthen your mental approach and strengthen your mental approach to the game?
I just had the community around me that helped me know that it's okay. Like, it's okay that you made mistakes, and that all you need to do is just what you can. And in the moment, that's just, if you strike out, okay, get the next step back and just stay out of your head and let it fly over you and let it go.
You brought a little bit of the pop to the bat this year too. I want to talk about your offense and what kind of things you're doing this year. What makes you so successful? You're leading the team. Last checked, I haven't looked at last night's numbers, how it updated, but leading the team in average so far this year. So something's working really well. What do you think has been, the key to your success this year?
I think it just has to be the mental approach. I mean, I know I have a good enough swing to get bat on ball. I just have to be strong enough in the head to know where to hit it, how to hit it, and what to think when you're going into that box.
We talked about this when we talked to Anna A, because she's from the left-handed side too, and she can bring some pop into her bat, 10 home runs on the year. But when you think of, being able to be on the left side, and I know a lot of coaches see a left-handed hitter coming up and they think automatically, okay, we have to be in our slap defense. What kind of advantage is that for you to know that, okay, if they're going to do that, I can swing away, hit over the fence?
I love it. I mean, I just like, oh, so you're going to move up? Okay, I'm just going to hit it over you, I guess. And just staying aggressive ultimately is the biggest thing.
Anna also told us about a little bit of a competition between you two, trying to see, who could get better. If you hit a home run, she felt like she had to follow that up. From your side, your perspective of the competition, do you take it that, do you feed off that? Do you like the friendly competition between teammates?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I haven't really been too competitive with my teammates, but I think it just brings it together, and it's just so much fun to think about.
When you think of this team this year and what makes it unique, I mean, you've been on so many travel teams, you've been on South Range last year. Every team is different, though. So what is it about this team this year, this dugout, that you think makes it unique from other teams that you've been on?
I think just the bondness of between the people. I have some travel teammates on the team, like Jaylee, and I have so many girls in my grade that I'm friends with, and all the girls are friends with each other, and that really helps us, lean on each other and have the bonds to do well.
I want to talk about being able to play defense behind Jaylee and what that's been like this year. Last year, you got the two-headed monster with Stakowitz and Suzanne that you were able to work with, but now you get to work with, like you said, your travel ball teammate and Jaylee Wilt. What's that been like to play defense behind her and to always have her back and see what she's been able to do her first year in the circle as a varsity member?
It's been amazing. I mean, she's been doing great pitching. She just hit her 200th strikeout of the season, which is amazing. But also the defense behind her is just so strong, and it feels amazing to do what I can for her.
You play in that middle of the infield. You're asked to be a leader of the infield, get everyone in the right position, make sure everyone's engaged. What's that like for you, being able to just be a sophomore, but also be a leader of the team, and not just emotional leader, but also a strategic leader on the field?
I don't think about it too much. I just know that I have to do what I can to help my team, and especially Jaylee in the circle, to do what we can to get the wins.
Let's talk about your journey in softball. When did you pick up this sport, and then when did you find yourself kind of falling in love with it and it being something that you wanted to spend a lot of time on, and it was more than just something you did for fun?
Well, I started it, I think, when I was 4 or 5, and that was really, really early. And I feel like I fell in love with it almost immediately. And it was great to have my siblings play with me. And then my dad obviously helped me out with everything. And since then, I had a hiccup when I moved. I went through a tough spot. But ever since then, it's exploded. I love the sport now, and I just can't imagine not playing it.
So fans of South Range baseball know that your brother is also killing it on the baseball team, who's also playing in regionals. What's that like, being able to share that with him and see his success as well?
I love it. I'm so happy for him, and it's so much fun seeing competitive who gets further, and I just love seeing him do so well, especially right now.
I know you said you don't get too competitive with your teammates, but how competitive do you get with your brother?
Oh, it's all the time. We're always talking smack on each other about who's doing better and who's doing this and that, and softball versus baseball, and it's just hilarious to me.
When you think of the ways that you guys support each other, though, the flip side of the friendly competition, what does having a brother that's kind of going through the same thing that you are on the baseball diamond, what does that do for you as far as, like you said, your mental approach and everything that you go through?
It's a big help. I mean, he's there, I'm there, and we're just bouncing off of each other, supporting each other, going to each other's games, and talking to each other about the game. That really helps us stay confident.
I want to expand this conversation to your family in general, because I know you have a really good support system at home. What do you think makes your family unique to you or special to you that you see out of your family, whether it be traditions or things that you think is special about your family?
Well, I have a pretty big family. I have 5 siblings, and growing up, that has just helped me so much, knowing that I have people to have my back, and I can have fun with anybody, and it's amazing. I have great parents, great siblings, competitive, and even competitive, we're still having fun through everything.
Getting to share the house with 5 different people, you can't all have the same personality. So, what does that do for you as a teammate to have to navigate different personalities in the dugout? I mean, how much do you lean on the fact that you've had to navigate different personalities your whole life at home?
I think it's a great help. So obviously everybody's so different, including in my family, and that helps me know what can I do to help somebody if they're struggling with something, and that's the biggest thing that I think is for the team.
What sibling do you think you're the most alike, and what sibling do you think you're the most different from?
Oh gosh. I think I'm most like my 5th grade sister, Reese. We look the exact same as well, but she's a bookworm. I used to be a bookworm, but most different, I'd have to go with my 8th grade sister, Sophia. She's more outgoing than I am. So
let's talk about you in the classroom. Sophomore year, some people think it's the hardest year in high school because you're not baby anymore like you were as a freshman. There's no welcome to high school anymore. How have you been dealing with the sophomore year in the classroom, and what are some of your favorite subjects?
I think I did pretty good. I kept up my grades. They stayed steady. And I'd say my favorite subject is somewhere between history and science, probably.
What is the subject? I don't want to say least favorite because I don't want to throw a teacher under the bus or anything. But what the one that you probably had to work the hardest at, or the one that really gave you the most trouble, most stress, I guess I would say.
Definitely English or like language arts. That's just my weakest subject.
What is the toughest assignment that you think you've gotten in that class that really, you made you work hard?
Ooh, probably the summer work. There was a lot of reading we had to do, a lot of assignments, but even though it was a lot of work, I still had fun and got it done.
All right, when people ask me about the South Range program and what makes them so successful over the last decade plus, back to 2010, they won their first regional since 2001, and it's been successful ever since. And I always point to Coach Rose and Coach Farron. Your perspective, you're with them every day. What makes them such a good culture and such a good place for people to succeed like they have been for so long?
I think it's because they're easygoing on the team, and they're not the kind of coaches who yell at you if you make a mistake. They know that the kids themselves know that they made a mistake. They know what they have to do. So they're kind of more laid back, but at the same time, they're always there to help you if you have a question, and they know the game so well.
They also work together so well. What's it like seeing those two guys come together as a unit and work together to coach you guys? Does that help you guys get together as teammates as well?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, before every game and practices, they always compete against each other in bocce, which is hilarious to all of us. And it's just keeps the team spirit up mainly, and it's so exciting.
Give us one thing, because we see them a lot in the game. So give us one thing about Coach Farron and Coach DeRose that people don't know if all they do is go to games.
Oh, gosh. I guess just their competitiveness. Like I said, they're bocce. They're always on each other about, oh, I'm better than you at this. Stuff like that is something.
Who's better? Like, you get to watch as a spectator.
Oh, I can't say. I don't want to say.
Secret. You don't want to be punished for what you say.
No.
It's all good. What teammate do you think could make the best impression of Coach DeRose?
Oh, probably Kira Winter. She's really good at making impressions of people.
I like that. Okay, so we ask every softball player this so far this year. We want dugout snacks. If you could have one for the rest of your career, what one would you go with?
Oh, I have to say either watermelon or that Jaylee's mom, Susie, the team mom, always brings every game, or peanuts, which is Coach DeRose's pregame snack every time.
Mrs. Wilt with the fruits. We have the grapes that have to be from Mrs. Wilt, and now the watermelon that has to be from Mrs. Wilt. What is it about these fruits that she's able to bring to the dugout? Are they different than other like watermelons that you have?
Oh yeah, I think they're special because she just loves the team so much. She's such a huge part of the community, and it just brings us all together.
She puts a little dash of love in there to make the watermelon that much better. Another thing that I've been asking softball players, it's on the social media, circle right now. Softball icks, things that you see in the softball field that just make you cringe a little bit. We have a running tally, so we have to get your answer to add to the list of things that other softball players around the area have said. So what are some of your softball icks?
Oh no. Not taking care of your glove is a big one. I'm big on taking care of your glove. That's gotta be my biggest one, I think.
What is like one thing that someone would do to their glove, or that you see and you go, oh man?
When they just slam it on the ground and it lands there and it's like a pancake and it makes me very sad.
You're a shortstop. You have a special relationship with your glove. How long, what glove are you on? How long have you been using the glove that you use right now?
Well, I just got this glove at Christmas, so I'm still working in on breaking it in. But the glove before that, I had for maybe 3 or 4 years, and I took care of that like it was my baby.
With such a great bond, some softball players, it's like, hey, you cannot use my glove ever. Are you like that? Or is it your glove and yours only? Or is it like an emergency? Someone else can use it if they have to.
No, I think somebody else can use it. It's okay. As long as they don't kill it.
Don't throw it on the ground. Take care of my glove.
Yeah.
I know all your teammates take care of their gloves, so you can trust everyone in South Range with that. Kira, one of the things that we do with these player profiles at the end is we take the athlete and we give them the opportunity for them to take the spotlight off themselves a little bit and shine on the people in their life, their support system, the people that they wouldn't be where they are without. So I'm going to give you your time to give your shout outs and thanks that you want to give, as much time as you want to do that.
Okay, so I'll start with Coach Steve Moskell, who's down in Canonsburg, taught me almost everything I know about the game, along with my travel coach right now, Scott Munnell. And obviously I have to say thank you to my dad, who is with both coaches and has just inspired me my entire life to play softball. And so did my mom. Gotta say thank you to my siblings, like Connor, obviously, and high school coaches, Coach DeRose, Coach Starkey, Coach Farron, all the others, just supporting me through everything. And also my family. Every game they give me texts. I love them so much. Thank you for all of that. And my teammates and friends like Jaylee Whale, Kaylin Pleska, Gabby Spooner, all those girls, and my softball teammates also, Selena Jesus, Anna A. All of them, honestly, I can't keep listing them, but thank you so much for all the support, everybody.
All right, Kara, we want to thank you for your time today, giving us an insight in your season and how it's gone so well. We wish you the best of luck in the regional finals come Friday, and we can't wait to talk to you real soon.
Thank you so much.
Kira Brogan, catch her tonight, 5:30, audio-only broadcast from ysnlive.com. Thank you to the South Range Athletic Boosters that have given us the privilege of sending you this game today. We wish them the best of luck. Want to give a shout out to all of our baseball teams that are playing tonight. Ursuline versus West Branch, almost at JFK. They're next. JFK playing in their regional semi. South Range playing as well. Their baseball team playing at 5 o'clock in Massillon. So I want to wish all of our baseball teams the best of luck. All of those games will also be for free on ysnlive.com. Thanks to our wonderful sponsors. So we have 3 baseball games, all regional semis, 1 state semi, audio-only broadcast. The Spectrum has video rights, so we have to stay away from video, but all audio broadcast for state semis. And then we'll be back here on Running Point on Monday, hopefully talking about some regional championships, hopefully talking about some state championships. Cannot wait. Let's go. That'll be it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you on Monday on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood